UFO disclosure tonight, or at least could we get a president and a former president talking about UFOs in a serious way? Could this be a spark that ignites UFO interest across the nation and the world? Well, let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, so there's going to be the U.S. presidential debate tonight, or at least the first one of the season, the campaign season. Talking about politics is tricky. No matter what I say, people are going to accuse me of being political. I'm going to try to be as nonpartisan as possible, but I'm sure that's not going to stop some from saying one thing or another. But I'm going to make the attempt, guys. I'm making the attempt. I think both politicians, Biden and Trump, are a mixed bag in terms of UFOs. There are some that say that, Trump says that he has the UFO files, right? Or at least some of them. That, of course, is coming from the podcast he did with Logan Paul, where he did talk about UFOs. He did say that he had access to files and had talked to people and stuff like that. But his general takeaway was that there's serious people saying that these things are real, but Trump himself is not a big UFO guy. Here he is talking about it.
I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am.
So that's what Trump has been saying, is that, there are serious people taking this seriously and that have seen things and that he takes them seriously, but he himself is not a UFO guy. Do I expect that to change tonight? No, I really don't. Now, there are people like Ross Coulthart and Haim Ashed who have said that Trump was let in on the big secret of the UFO existence, not just the existence. According to Haim Ashed, he's been let in on the secret of the Galactic Federation's involvement with the governments of Earth. But the humans weren't ready, and Trump was talked out of going forward with this information because the Galactic Federation didn't think that humans were ready. Ross Coulthart had a different take, saying that he believed that Trump had been threatened into silence. Are either of those two stories true? I mean, obviously it's impossible to know for sure. They seem incompatible, but there are ways you could stitch those two stories together. Maybe the Galactic Federation or agents on behalf of the Galactic Federation, compelled Trump into silence forcefully. Always possible. So, maybe those stories are true. If so, Trump hides that very well. There is no indication of any of that in his interviews or in his discussions on this topic. Nevertheless, Tim Burchett here says that Trump is our best hope for UFO disclosure.
I guess I'd have to say our best shot would be Trump, just because he's kind of a cowboy. They don't know how to take him. They can't put him in a box, and the stuff that comes out on him you'd think would shut him down, but then his numbers go up.
So that's Tim's take. But what about Biden? Well, Biden signed into law the UFO Disclosure Amendment, right? The Schumer-Rounds Amendment. That is something that Biden actually did. Now, it was the neutered form of the Schumer-Rounds Amendment, admittedly, but he did sign into law the UFO Disclosure Amendment. I mean, that's pretty huge, right? However, we also know, at least according to Ross Coulthart's reporting, that President Joe Biden did order the shoot down of a UFO in Alaska, an actual anomalous object, not a balloon. In fact, apparently there were multiple UFOs in the whole Balloon Gate situation that weren't reported to us, and it had begun before the first known balloon. In fact, here's Ross Coulthart talking a little bit about some of the anomalous objects in Alaska.
During the shoot-down incidents, when the Alaska object was engaged with back in February, there were people from the Defense Department giving the media the very clear impression that there was something anomalous about the Alaska object in particular. There were references to it interfering with the sensors of the fighter jet aircraft. And there were also suggestions that it broke apart on the sea ice. That doesn't sound like a balloon, which is the only explanation that's been offered to date by the White House.
He also talks about how the objects maneuver very fast and that some of them actually maneuvered away from the fighters that had been sent to pursue them. So yeah, definitely not balloons, right? And by the way, this interview is from 2023. He has had additional thoughts and updates since then. So on the one hand, Joe Biden is signing into law the UFO Disclosure Amendment. But on the other hand, he is shooting down UFOs, and he's not telling us about it. And when he was asked about it at a press conference, this is what he had to say.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Well, it's a funny response, but it's definitely a frustrating response and clearly a non-answer. So what does Joe Biden think about UFOs? What has he said publicly other than this? If you have incidences, if you can give me some links to other comments that he's made, I'd be very interested to see. But I don't think that he's talked a lot about UFOs. However, he did sign the Schumer-Rounds Amendment into law. But he did order a shoot down of a UFO, and he didn't tell us about it. So clearly he knows more about UFOs than he is telling the people. I think that's the case for just about any president. I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm sure that Trump knows more than he has revealed to the public. Now, did Trump order any UFOs shot down while he was in office? I haven't heard any reporting on that. There's no stories about that. Obviously, there wasn't a balloon gate when Trump was in office. So yeah, I'd be very curious to know if Trump did order any such actions, because that would be, obviously very interesting. So to wrap up, there are two sources of information that Trump has been briefed on the whole UFO deal, the whole big shebang, or at least a lot of it, and that he was going to go public with it, but that he was persuaded not to. I don't know if either of those sources are correct, although both of them, Ross Coulthart and Haim Eshed, are very credible individuals. But we also know that his public stance is that there's serious people saying these are real, but he himself is not a UFO guy. And I don't expect that to change on the debate stage tonight. I also don't expect Joe Biden to suddenly come out talking about UFOs. He hasn't in the past. I don't think that he's going to now. But he can rightfully claim credit for signing the Schumer-Rounds Amendment into law, so that if he is asked about this, he can say, hey guys, I'm the one that pioneered the way for UFO transparency. And also, it's unclear to me if the UFO that he ordered shot down, if he knew that was an anomalous object. Did he think it was a balloon? Was he told there's a wave of, Chinese balloons and we need to take them down because they're surveilling America? And that's what he ordered shot down unknowing that it was an anomalous object? I think that's totally possible. So I would love more confirmation from Ross Coulthart, from his sources, if indeed Joe Biden knew that was an actual non-human vehicle that he was ordering shot down. And if he did deliberately shoot down a UFO, what does he know about that race of being or races of being? Who knows? There could have been multiple races of beings aboard that craft, right? We don't know. So yeah, why is the United States military shooting down particular UFOs while seeming to work with the occupants of other UFOs? So ultimately, what do I expect from tonight's debate? If either or both candidates or president is asked about UFOs, I expect more kind of non-answers. I expect, well, there's credible people seeing these things, and you never know, and I guess greater transparency couldn't be a bad thing. Sure, I'll give you some transparency, something like that. Politician talk, basically. I will be shocked if either of them says any more than that. But hey, I would love to be proven wrong. And, you know, that's just my take, guys. Let me know your take in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, all that kind of good stuff. There's plenty of videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.